simple story of Tam O'Shanter, a market man. After a day at the market, they all go to the pub, drink a bit much. Then he has to get home. In those days, it was horses or carts. In his case, it was a horse. And he had to go home through woods which were dark, mysterious, full of witches and ghosts and warlords. That's the simple essence. What I'm going to say, if I say it right, is going to come out in pure English in some cases and very Scots dialect, but you will have no idea of what I'm saying. But the actions may help you. I only have one aid. This, when it's faced like this, believe it or not, is a seat in a pub. But when I turn it round like this, it magically becomes a grey mare called Maggie, or Meg for short. So, to our poem. When Chapman Billies leave the street and droughty neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late and folks begin to tack the gate, while we sit boozing at the nappy and getting foo and unco happy, we think of these long Scots miles, the mosses, waters, slaps and stiles that lie between us and our hame, where sits our sulken southern dame, gathering her brows like gathering storm and nursing her wrath to keep it warm. This truth found Annis Tam O'Shanter, as he frae air a night did canter, old air whom ne'er a town surpasses, for honest men and bonny lassies. Ah, Tam, had thou but been so wise as ta'en thy ain wife Kate's advice, she told thee weel there was a skellum, a blethering, blustering, drunken blevum, that frae November till October, aye market day, thou wasna sober. That ilka melder with a miller, thou sat as long as thou had sewer, and with every naig that car'd a shoe on, the smith and thee got roaring foo on. And at the Lord's house, even on Sunday, ye drank with Kirk and Jean till Monday. She prophesied that later soon there would be found deep drowned in Doon, or catched with warlocks in the murk by Alloway's all-haunted kirk. Ah, gentle dames, it gives me greed to think so many counsels sweet, so many lented sage advices, the husband frae the wife despises. But to our tale, aye market night, Tam had got planted unco right, fast by an ingle bleezing finely, were reaming swats that drank divinely. And at his elbow, suitor Johnny, his ancient trusty droughty crony, Tam loved him like a very brother. They had been foo for weeks together. The night drave on with sangs and clatter, and aye, the ale was getting better. The landlady and Tam grew gracious with secret favours, sweet and precious. The suitor told his queerest stories. The landlord's laugh was ready chorus. The storm without might rear and rustle. Tam didna mind the storm of us. Yeah, mad to see a man say happy, e'en drowned himself amongst the nappy. As bees flee hame will laves a treasure, the minutes winged away with pleasure. Kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious, o'er all the ills of life victorious. But pleasures are like poppy spread. You seize the flower, its bloom is shed, or like the snow that falls in the river, 1 minute white, then melts forever. Or like the borealis race that flit, you can point their place. Or like the rainbow's lovely form, it vanishes amidst the storm. Nay man can tether time nor tide. That hour of night's black arts and feasting, that dreary hour, Tam mounts his beasting. And sick a night he tacks the rodent, as ne'er poor sinner was abroad. The wind as 'twad blown its last. The rattling showers rose on the blast. The speedy gleams the darkness swallowed. Loud, deep and lang, the thunder bellowed. That night, a child might understand. The deal had business on his hand. Will mounted on his grey mare Meg, a better never lifted leg, Tam scalpit on through dub and mire, despising wind and rain and fire, whilst holding fast his good blue bonnet, and whilst crooning o'er an old Scots sonnet, and while looking round with prudent cares, lest bogies catch him unawares. Kirkalloway was drawing nigh, where ghasts and howlets nightly cry. By this time he was crossed the ford, where in the snaw the chapman snored, and past the Burks and Meeklestane, where drunken Charlie bracks next bane. And near the Whin and by the cairn, where hunters found the murdered bairn. And near the thorn aboon the well, where Mingo's mother hanged herself. Before him Doon brought all its floods. The doubling storm rose through the woods. The lightnings flashed from pole to pole, near and more near the thunders roll, when suddenly, glimmering through the trees, Kirkalloway seemed in a breeze. Through ilka bores the beams were glancing, and loud resounded mirth and dancing. Oh, bold, inspiring John Barleycorn, what dangers thou dost make us scorn. With tuppenny, we fairly yield. Waskebay will face the deal. The swats they reamed in Tammy's noddle, fair play he cardna deals a bottle. But Maggie stood, right sair astonished, until by hand and heel admonished, she ventured forward to the light. And wow, Tam saw an unco sight. Warlocks and witches in a dance. Nae cotillion, right new for France, but hornpipes, jigs, strathspeys and reels put life and metal in the heels. A winnock bunker in the east, there sat old Nick in shape of beast, a towsy type, black, grim and large. To give them music was his charge. He screwed his pipes in Gartland skill till roof and rafters ordered dill. Coffins stood round like open presses that shawed the deed in their last dresses, and by some devilish cantrip sleight, each held in his cold hand a light, by which heroic Tam was able to note upon the haly table a murderer's banes and gibbet hairs, twa span long wi' unchristened bairns, a thief fresh cutted frae the rape, with his last gasp, his gabbed out gape, a garter that a babe had strangled, a knife a father's throat had mangled, 5 tomahawks with blood red rusted, 5 scimitars with blood red crusted, 5 scimitars with murder rusted, 3 lawyers' tongues turned inside out, with lies seamed like a baker's clout, 3 priests' hearts, rotten black as mud, lay vile and stinking in every nook. A mare of horrible and awful, that even the name would be unlawful. As Tam stood, amazed and curious, the mirth and fun grew fast and furious. The pipers, loud and louder blew, the dancers, fast and faster flew. 'Twas as though Gavin's sausages they had swallowed, and ceaseless, relentless energy followed. They reeled, they set, they crossed, they poussetted, till ilka carlin with swat was wetted, and linked at it dressed dust and sark. Ah, Tam, had they been queens, a plump and strapping in their teens, their sarks, instead of creasy flannin, been snow-white 1700 linen. These breeks of mine, my only pair, that ain't with plus a good blue hair, I would have gained them off my herdies for a glance of the bonny birdies. But rig woody hags old and droll, withered beldams that would speen a foal, leaping and loping on a crummock, I wonder it didna turn their stomach. But Tam kent what was walked through Wally. There was aye winsome wench, and brawly, That night, enlisted to the corps, lang after Kent on Carrickshaw, for many a beast to dead she shot, and perished mony a bonny boat, and shoot beath muckle corn and bear, and held the countryside in fear. Her Cutty's heart, o' Paisley hand, that whilst her lassie she had won, of longitude though sorely scanty, it was her best, and she was vaunty. Ah, little Kent, her reverend granny, that sark she coughed for her wee nanny, with twapun Scots, 'twas all her riches, would ever grace a dance of witches. But here I muse her power and car, sig flights are far beyond her power, to sing as Nanny Lappin flang, a supple jade she was, and strang, and how Tam stood as ane bewitched, and thought his very een enriched, even Satan glowed and Fitz Trufain, and hotched and blew with might o' main, till first I gave her, sent another, Tam tint his reason altogether, and cries out, "Well done, Cutty Sark!" And in an instant, all was dark. Scarcely had he Maggie rallied, when out that hellish legion sallied, as breeze flee out with angry fight when plundering herds assail their bite, as open pussy's mortal foes when pop she starts before their toes, as eager runs the market crowd when catch the thief resounds aloud. So Maggie ran, the witches followed, when mony an eldritch screech and hollow. Ah, Tam, forget thy fairings in vain, thy wife awaits her coming. Kate soon will be a woeful woman. Now, do your speedy utmost make to win the keystone on the brink. Then, there at them thou thy tail may toss, a running stream they dare na cross. But ere the keystone she could make, the faint, a tail she had to shake. For Nanny, way before the rest, hard upon bold Maggie breast, and flew at Tam with furious threat. But little wished she Maggie's mettle. Right spring! Oh, tore off her master hair, and left behind her ain grey tail. Now why this tale of truth we read, ilk man and mother's son take heed. Whene'er to drink you are inclined, or Cutty Sarks run in your mind, think ye may buy the joys, oh dear. Remember,